I love video games, especially story-driven ones. However, when taking big breaks in between gaming sessions, you just kind of forget a lot. So I built a giant database with over 100,000 games, so no matter what game you play, an AI can help you along the way. The idea is fairly simple, actually. Here's the roadmap. First, we have to collect as much data as possible on video game characters. This idea mostly stemmed from me wanting to kind of catch up on some of the characters that I forgot about in Fallout New Vegas. Once we have a list of video games in plain text, we need images of these characters. Next, we have to figure out how do we store these images so that an AI could understand it. And last but not least, we need a UI so that the user can actually use the application in a way. And for that, I'm going to be using Project G-Assist by NVIDIA, an AI assistant that helps you control, optimize, and customize your GeForce RTX system using simple voice or text commands. You can make your own commands and tools with the new ChatGPT-powered plugin builder. It helps you whip up AI-generated code and customize G-Assist to do exactly what you want. Speaking of which, NVIDIA is hosting a hackathon that you can join and win an RTX 5090 laptop, or an RTX 5080 GPU, or an RTX 5070 GPU by building a project similar to what I'm building in this video. More on that later. The internet actually feels like it was made by gamers, which is kind of true, I think, because data on video game characters is not hard to find. They're just not all in the same place, which kind of complicates things. After some research, we have lots of places we could look. I found the Internet Gaming Database that has a free API. The rate limits meant that I can only do 4 requests per second though, so kind of low. An API, if you don't know, is for developers. It's kind of like going to a regular website, but instead of UI, UX, styles, and other cool stuff, you get just the data in a way that's easy to include in your own programs. Another source of data I found was GiantBomb. This was less generous than IGDB with 200 requests per hour, but their list was much better and extensive. So in Python, I just created a quick script for me to go over it without hitting any rate limits. Then, running the scripts, I waited overnight and got a little over 100,000 characters. And that's about 60,000 from GiantBomb, 20,000 from the IGDB, and 25,000 from other sources I found from like Kaggle, from Hugging Face, which I don't know the quality of that data, but we're just going to include it anyway. Now, this one was probably the toughest part of the project because it just killed my internet. The sources of data in the previous step made it easy to just grab all the free data that was on a gigantic list. This one is a little bit more nuanced though, because it's images. And we don't have a programmatic way to make sure that an image is what we want. So we're just going to do what all good programmers do and trust the data that we're getting. Yeah. The good news is that each character we downloaded has some detail on the game that they're from. So we'll use an image scraper and have it automatically query for character name video game. This will most likely give us some more accurate results. Also, between 5 to 15 images per character, that's a lot of images. So instead, we're going to store this in a storage bucket in the cloud. That way it's not on my hard drive, taking up my hard drive space and my bandwidth. It's just going right to the cloud. So I created a script and went through a proxy and ran the script. It took a while, but finally got an exhaustive list. So I'm looking at it right now in my Azure bucket and it's huge, massive. Now, the reason I did this was to get Doc Mitchell from the game Fallout New Vegas, the guy at the beginning. And there he is in all of his glory. I noticed that if the file is 112 byte, it meant that it grabbed like a UI icon of some sort, which, you know, not ideal. But I'm very happy with the results. And we'll see what my bill is at the end of the month. Now, if you want to build a project like this, then make sure you check out the hackathon that I'm partnering with NVIDIA on. Between June 17th to July 16th, you'll build a plugin for Project G-Assist, an on-device local AI that has access to different tools. With Project G-Assist, you can do things like check out your system specs, change your RGB lighting on your keyboard. But what I love is the open source plugin ecosystem. So you can integrate Discord so you can summarize your messages. Use a more advanced AI model like Google Gemini 2.5 Pro. Or if you're a bit of a weirdo like me, you can build a plugin that tries to estimate the best hand you can play in Balatro. I just connected G-Assist to Gemma 327B, a vision model that I can run locally on my RTX card. I then built an enum that the LLM was forced to generate from, with all of the different poker hands that you can use in the game. And similar to this project, I have G-Assist take a picture of the game screen and then have it crop just the cards based on a fixed size based on your window. The less amount of details, the better. The use case here is for those who might not be too familiar with how poker works and needs a tutorial on what hands are possible. It adds a level of accessibility and can work as a tutorial for any game. You can win an NVIDIA RTX 5090 laptop, an RTX 5080 GPU, or an RTX 5070 GPU. You can go into the GitHub repository to see for yourself what you can build with some great examples. Or you can take this project that I'm building right now and use that as your starter, whatever you want. Oh, and I'm going to be a judge, so do with that information as you will. So build the craziest integrations you can think of and try to win an NVIDIA laptop or GPU. You can find out more in the link below. Thanks to NVIDIA for partnering with me on this and supporting the channel for so long. Now, here's how we get the AI to understand the images. We first have to take the image and transform it into a mathematical version or representation of it, and that's called an embedding. GenaCLIP V2 is one of the newest models that can do this with images specifically, so we're going to use that. Then these embeddings will go into a PGVector database. Our screenshot that we will take will then also be embedded and then will be compared for similarity. Boom, mathematics. Now, basically anywhere you can run Postgres, you can run a vector database. And that's just why I love Postgres. I love that elephant more than anything. We're all used to a chat system at this point, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Project G-Assist runs a small language model locally on your machine, so it's completely private, and although it's not designed to have a deep conversation with like ChatGPT, it can accurately execute commands and has access to different tools. We're going to build an entire plugin around it so that you can open it up in game, take the screenshot there, and then just kind of get back into it. That way, if you already have NVIDIA drivers, which I'm assuming because you're playing, video games on your computer, you can easily just whip it up. So I just cloned the Git repository and got to work on my implementation. It's all written in Python, as I usually do on the channel, so I was able to get something out pretty quickly. Right now, Project G-Assist runs Llama 8B, so it's not the most intelligent model, but what I like about it is that it's great for summarizing tasks really fast. And we're just going to be grabbing something from the database, feeding it in, and asking for a summary of it anyway, so it's actually kind of perfect for this. So I'm just going to connect it to my backend and then let it query and respond to the user's questions. And that's about it. There were a couple of things that I needed to do to tweak, like for example, the prompts, which really dramatically changes the output. I also made it so that I could easily just grab the window that the user was currently focused on, and that would take a screenshot. However, there were some headaches with this project. Here are some of them. Some DirectX games like Fallout New Vegas wouldn't let you screenshot correctly. It would just come back as a black image. But what I found is that you could get the coordinates of each different corner of the window and then screenshot it as if you were taking like the snipping tool or something, and it worked that way. So strange. But overall, I found it to be a pretty smooth experience, especially considering the things I built on this channel. And again, if you're interested in joining the hackathon that I'm partnering with NVIDIA on, make sure you check the link below. There's a lot of cool prizes to be won, and I also just think it's a cool opportunity to build something fun that's gaming related, but not like too hard where you're getting into game dev. You can use my project as a template if you want to get started quickly. So check that out as well. I'm one of the judges, so give me your crazy ideas. The hackathon webpage is linked below for all the info on how to sign up. You can also hop into the NVIDIA developer Discord channel. There's a dedicated G-Assist plugins channel to hop into to share your creations and join G-Assist conversations with NVIDIA experts. Peace out, coders.